Hoi there everyone, this is FatesFanboy speaking, and welcome back to another episode of Inazuma 11 GO Strikers. Episode 20, we finally reached the 20 episode milestone, and man, am I happy to be here. Honestly, when I started out on this journey, I did not expect there to be enough support for me to keep doing this every episode, continuing to have requests for characters, for kids, you name it. So, genuinely, thank you for bringing me to this point. It has been a great pleasure to play this series alongside you guys, and I hope you'll keep up your fervent support until the end of this series, at least until the end of the story mode. Will we reach it before the end of the year? I don't know. I think it's possible, if I keep going every week, but I suppose only time will tell. Now, we're starting off this episode with a clean slate. I did not screw anything up this episode. My audio settings are good, players have been recruited, everything is good again in the world. So we are continuing on as usual, and we are getting back to our habit of recruiting one character at the start of the episode, as well as one character at the end of the episode. So for today's request, we are going back to the original trilogy, because today we have a request by Vinny the Trash, who states that since his favorite character, Kazemaru, or Nathan Swift, has already been recruited onto the team and has already seen plenty of use, I might add, he would like to request his best friend from the athletics club, Miles, or Miyasaka, as he is apparently called in Japanese. So, dear Miles here, he is certainly a character that exists. Honestly, when I first saw him I didn't think he was a guy, but I've had that with plenty of other players in this game, so honestly, I don't think I can only blame Miles for this. But yeah, he's actually a pretty solid player, as you'll see. Like his friend Nathan, he actually gets access to a S rank speed stat once upgraded to 1 blue bar, and besides that, you know, pretty solid. He's got A stats all around except for catch, and I think that's pretty much all there is to say about him. If I recall correctly, he comes with Eternal Blizzard at base, as well as Furry Dash, which, yeah, he obviously takes from Nathan. The Eternal Blizzard, don't entirely know where it comes from, but it is a cool addition nonetheless. So yeah, nothing more to say. Welcome aboard, Miles, and thank you, Vinny, for your request. Now, once again, I've made some pretty major adaptations to the team. I've made some pretty significant substitutions, I want to say. Most notably, you'll see I've brought back in a keeper we haven't seen in a bit, Joseph King. He hasn't seen any action, but I would like to use him again. Since this Chrono Stones arc we're going into, it gradually ramps up in power, but for now I think we can spare the manpower in favor of bringing King back in for a match or two. Honestly, I've missed the guy. He's cool, I really do like him. But that is of course not the only change we've made. I've also brought in the characters that we recruited last week, or that we didn't get to use last week. Those of course being Hakuryu, Faye, Straw, and Dodge. I've trained all of these guys up to be at their maximum potential, quote unquote. That only really goes for Hakuryu and Faye because they do get access to 3 blue bars, they get access to Spirit, and a mix and match in the case of Faye, whereas Dodge and Straw only really needed 1 level to get access to their stat caps. But yeah, alongside that, I have also brought back in Alessandro, Soundtown, and Reno, who have also been absent from the team for a while, and on the bench I have Steve and Max from the Dark Emperors. So yeah, almost unrecognizable this team, I imagine. It is quite a mix-up from the team we had going into the match against Zero, but you know, occasionally you have to give the substitutes some time in the lights as well. With that being said, we should bring Miles in, and Miles, I believe, is a midfielder canonically. I believe we can probably take out Khalil for a bit. I think that shouldn't hurt too much. Oh, he's actually a defender, never mind, but like Nathan, he doesn't get access to any defending moves, unless he gets one upon reaching 1 or 2 blue bars, which I cannot say for sure, nor do I really have the time to explore that right now. Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Hope you're enjoying the episode. If you are, consider subscribing to me. It is completely free, you can always change your mind later, and it goes a very long way for me as a content creator. Let me know you guys want more of this stuff in the future. Thanks in advance, and enjoy the rest of the episode. I've actually already played around with this formation a bit. It is a very solid formation, I want to say. The only thing that's a tiny bit lackluster is the defense, because once Hawkins gets exhausted, once he uses up all his TP, there is no defender who can really block any shots, except for Faye. Faye does get access to air bullets, but that is not his primary purpose, of course. Still in all, the midfield is really solid, and the forwards are very capable. They can make goals with their spirits, except Dodge obviously doesn't have a spirit. But Hakuryu and Sneo definitely can, so we are going to capitalize off them in the match to come. So yeah, having done all the organizational stuff, it's time to delve back into the Go map. And today, it is time to face Protocol Omega. Let's see what they've got. Okay, so yes, I already showed off Bata plenty last time, I don't think there's any need in zooming in on her again. We are just going to face her. And we get to hear her lovely, lovely voice again. We're going to face Protocol Omega, who are not only reinforced by Bata, but also by Alpha and Gamma, as well as the strongest players from Protocol Omega overall. Or at least that's what they want you to believe. Let's head in! Alright, now, unlike last time, I'm not going to linger on our team, I'm going to dip straight into the enemy formation. And yeah, like I said, these guys are frontlined by Alpha, Beta and Gamma, of course the three captains of the respective Protocol Omega teams. And funnily enough, they've got 2 substitutes instead of 5, or just 0. Interesting decision on the game designer's end. Yeah, like I said, they have the strongest quote-unquote players from Protocol Omega. Now, the reason why I'm saying is because this guy, Hotel, I believe his dub name is not in fact the strongest keeper. I would say Romeo from Gamma's team, I think, is probably a bit stronger. Man, C all around. That is a tiny bit insulting towards our team. But nonetheless, this team is really cool, I think, because of one gimmick they've got going on that also actually perpetuates throughout the anime as well. Now, I'll tell you all about that when we get to it, but for now, the important part is that we do not let these guys get free reign over the field because they all have access to a spirit. Albeit, not all shot spirits, but again, we'll get to that when we get to that. So, let's see, is there anything we should do? I was thinking we might switch the keys around a bit. Those are items. So right now we've got no bonuses, it seems. But if we switch these around, we might get some minor bonuses in the stats, as you can see in the bottom of the screen. So for example, Soundtown gives a minor boost in catch and control, which, you know, that's alright. Rusty gives minor boosts in speed and body, which is pretty good, honestly, in my opinion. That is actually independent from Sneer's bonuses as well, because as you might be able to see, I can actually... There you go. If I pair it with Hawkins, we actually get minor boosts in 4 stats. So overall, I think putting these guys, yes, it's a bit ironic that it's my 2 favorite players on this team, but realistically, they offer the most stats, so why not, you know? Yeah, I think those are really the final things to organize before the start of the match. So let's just see to which extent I can show off the new players we got. Let's go! Ah, there it is. Cherry Storm Stadium. Probably my favorite stadium in this game. Perhaps even throughout all of Inazuma 11. I don't dare say. Unfortunately, we do have to endure this guy again. But that is going to be a bane of the entire Chrono Stones arc. There we go. Quick recovery. Okay. Trying to see what I can do here. I can play it to Hakuryu, and he can actually take it back. Now this is a very good position for us to be in. I just need to maneuver around this. And there we go. We can immediately pull off a spirit. Shining Dragon. Which we can power up 3 times. There we go. Now, when I trained this guy, Hakuryu, I actually had the choice to either equip a spirit or an armed shot. And that is the one to know very quickly. But that is the strength of Hakuryu. He really is a force to be reckoned with. But yes, before I was interrupted by a lot of screaming players, I wanted to say that while training up Hakuryu, I had the decision, I had the choice to either equip his spirit, so Shining Dragon, or a armed shot. Which, yeah, it was going to be one of the shots he gets at level 3, but just with his spirit equipped as armor. Which is also a gimmick native to the Chrono Stones games. Armorifying your spirits. So perhaps it's fitting that I get to show it off in this episode. And I will show it off, because Hakuryu is not the only one who has access to that. Also, I can mix and match Faye, but I want to hold off on that. I'm not going to try and pull any punches against these guys, despite the power difference, but it's always good to keep a trump card handy, just in case. There we go. Let's give the ball again. That might be offside. It's not. There we go. Not letting up. Okay. Unfortunate maneuver on my end. Let's do it now, actually. Let's mix and match Faye. Tirano. Now, he's going to try to pass me. He's not going to be able to, because we are much stronger, of course. But actually, I recall Faye having access to a different spirit, or a different mix and match. But perhaps that is something we unlock at a later point. And that is also not something I'm going to spoil for you if you don't know what I'm talking about. Let's see, let's show off dodge a bit. Unless he just decides to dribble off the field. Excellent. Thank you, Miles. Very cool. Let's... yeah, you know... no, actually, we can... oh, Hakuryu, why? Wanted to chain with Hakuryu, but alas. Also something I should note about this keeper, as opposed to Romeo. They got access to the same moves, I'm pretty sure. But Romeo has access to a spirit. I think he actually has a spirit native to him. I don't know what it's called, but it's one of the gambler spirits, I believe. I would have liked to see that being shown off, instead of just Alpha, Beta, and Gamma getting the spotlight, as always. Oh, there we go. These guys actually don't say the names of their moves. Instead, they all call them commandos, and there's the little voiceover in the background who actually says the move names. And that's something I've always loved about this team, about Protocol Omega. It's just a really cool extra touch. And I don't know, for some reason, it just rubs me the right way. Coil Apa. It's fun. It reminds me of the Brazilian dub, actually, where they have the voiceover repeat the move names when they get pulled off. Okay, dodge. There we go. Very cool. He gets access to a level 3 move, which he presumably did not have in his team, but he does get access to that when you train him up. Snowstorm Leopard, or Panther Blizzard. And it is enough to break through, actually. So that's a 2-0. Excellent. And he stays very cool under the exaltation. Always good to see. A calm and collected mind. Let's do that. Bata. Oh, Mike. Mike gets in the way. Oh, they know Sargasso. Okay. Well, I can do that as well. If I can put it off, at least. We can do that, at least. See, this is what I was saying about the strong midfield, because we actually have plenty of midfielders who can pull off defensive moves as well. One of those players being Soundtown, so I'm pretty happy to have him back on the team. It just reinforces our midfield in positions it formerly wasn't. And that was not ideal, but let's see if I can do it like this. Nope. It was a valiant effort. Bata was there to catch the ball. Noted. Rusty. Oh, nope. I think I should give up on trying to score with Rusty, honestly. I'm trying to entertain the idea way too often, but it's not working out in the majority of the cases. I think this might be his last use of his mix and match. Might be mistaken, but no. No, I wasn't. So that is Faye depleted. That's alright. He'll still be useful, even without his mix and match. Because in his mix and match state, he actually cannot use his spirit. But in his normal state, he can. So I'm going to try and pull that one off as well. Gyro Seibun. There we go. 3-0. Very good. Going on pace for the 5-0, which is certainly achievable for this one. You saw it yourself. These guys have C stats in places they really shouldn't. But well, I'm happy with this result. So yeah, is there anything we should change up? I don't particularly know. I think we've actually been doing quite well with this formation. Like I said, very balanced all around. It does what it needs to. Yeah, they actually haven't threatened us at all yet. So that's probably a good sign. Let's keep going. Second half. Here we go. Easy. And let's see how far we can get with this one. Now, admittedly, I'm trying to think of something to discuss here, but I think I might have exhausted most of my topics in the last episode when I talked about my connection to the Chrono Stones games. But perhaps there might be something I can think of. This guy has a shot for some reason. Sidewinder. Oh, so for this one he doesn't say shoot the Commando. That's interesting. And Alpha can chain, okay. Okay. See, now they're making things interesting. About time. King shouldn't have any issues with this. But that is a very interesting dynamic they just pulled off. The defender being able to shoot, and the forward being able to chain. Horrendous keeper kick. It is what it is. We'll make it up with that steal. Yeah, that is actually something that Krizo also advised me when I played against him. To actually choose a formation where I can change shots, because that is apparently the primary way by which to score against strong goalkeepers. Goalkeepers like Mark, for example, they get access to really strong keeper moves. And typically, it'll be tough to break through them with just a regular shot, so to speak. But when you chain them, it really ups the power and greatly increases your chances of scoring. I never even considered that, but it was a valuable piece of information. As Dodge scores 3 goals in a row. Hat-trick. Very cool. Now that is entirely my doing, of course, but there we go. Thank you for passing that to Faye. Okay, never mind. Dodge is also... yeah, he's running out of TP. That is absolutely understandable. There we go. When I said we can also pull off Sargasso, this is what I meant. And actually, since I have both Straw and Faye on the team, they pull it off together. So I now see how this dynamic works. When you have 2 players who are on the same team, or at least have some kind of connection to one another, I think it defaults to using those 2 players in co-op moves. But when you don't have any of those players, it defaults probably to the captain. And yeah, here's Dragon Blaster, also a very cool move. Now, I switched this one in favor of the other move he has. I don't exactly recall what it is. Not only because it can score like this, but also because it chains. His other shot actually blocks, which, you know, for a forward it can be handy, but I prefer having something which chains. Like I said, Dodge is pretty much out of it. We are going to switch him out for someone else, and that someone else is going to be Edelgar. And you know what, just for the heck of it, let's bring in Max and Steve again. I've missed these guys. Let's give them some action. We've already reached the 5-0, which is a very good thing to see, always a sight for sore eyes. But let's see if we can capitalize off this lead with an Armor Fight Spirit in the form of Phase Killer Rabbit, or whatever it's called. And this one we can actually power up 5 times. Now I don't know exactly what the ratio is, the power ratio. Here's a new one. Boom Shoutle. Yeah, I love this voiceover, man. It sounds so goofy sometimes, but that's also partly on the move names themselves. But what I was going to say, I don't know what the power ratio is between Armor Fight moves and Spirit moves. Because the spirit moves, they usually cost more TP. So I'd imagine they're stronger, right? Unless that is a wrong assumption to make. Steve pulling off some tricks. There we go. Oh, that was a really tactical maneuver, actually. But I don't know if we can do anything with it. Oh, so close. Oh, Rusty. Oh, come on, catch up. Thank you. Thank you. And he breaks through, too. Perfect. See, this is probably due to the power difference between our players and their players. But I'd like to think it is also, in part, due to the key player changes we made at the start of the match. That extra bit of guard pulling through, you know? Magune Todoro. Sorry if that gets tiring, I really enjoyed the voiceover, if it wasn't clear yet. I don't exactly know if... No, never mind. I was going to say, I don't know if they do that if the characters are in the player's hands as well, but they most certainly do. Because I've used... what's the guy called again? The robot guy from Perfect something, and he has the same gimmick going on. How did I forget all these names? Reiduk, I think he's called in Japanese. I'd have to look up his English name. Don't need to worry about that when you have scores like this going on. It's looking like the Spain versus Costa Rica match that was played today. Is that too soon? That too soon for Costa Rican fans? Talking about real football here, by the way, the World Cup, obviously. Actually, I could talk about that, probably. For a bit. The match is almost over. But, you know, I don't take too much of an interest in the World Cup per se, but it's fun to at least watch the national team play. That is something. And this guy is really slow. Well fired up. Damn, that's crazy. But it's fun to see the national team play, the Dutch national team, I suppose. There's a bit of pride going on, you know, regardless of whether you're interested or not. And it was also fun to see that Japan actually won against Germany, which I don't think anyone expected. So I actually joked that they put Axel as a forward on the Japanese team. No. Imagine if they could, though. I mean, he already got, I think, a red card for being a fictional character in the Nike advertisement. So perhaps putting him in as a real player is a step too far. Damn. And that's it. That's the match. Perhaps a bit of an anti-climax to end it off. But it is what it is. 7-0. That is exceptional. An exceptional score, really. So how much are we going to get for this match? 630. Okay. You know, that's respectable. Climbing from 570 to 630, I think. And it looks like King filled both of his bars. That's great. Invisible stats, you have got to love them. So as soon as we're done celebrating here, it is time for some more map exploration. Because I do believe we have a bit to cover now. Yep, there's a path that opens up there. There is a golden chest. There's a gate there. But we did clear both maps. We got both keys. So I think we should be good to move on here. And looking at the teams we have yet to face, there's one there. I know there's one there over at the eerie-looking fortress. And then I think that should be it, actually, for this map. So I think we will be able to finish this story mode before the end of the year. That's quite exciting, actually. It gives me something to work towards. But yeah, first and foremost, we are, of course, going to see what this chest has to offer. Oh, right, it's one of these. I just have to time it. Oh, that's pretty good, actually. 2 manuals and an energy bar. Now, we're not going to use the energy bar, obviously. And then, since we cleared both maps, we can open this gate. And we can move on. Actually, we can move right along to the other secret player as well. And to treasure chests. Damn. There's a lot to do here. So, yeah, let's see who this is. Oh! Goldie! Let's fucking go! Yo. I really love Goldie. She's great. She's probably my favorite character in the Go arc, honestly. My favorite female character, I should note. Rusty does exist, of course. Oh, Goldie. What a pleasure it is to see you again. So, we have to face Goldie in this minigame, huh? Oh, that's the wrong button. For some reason I remembered having to face her in the eating minigame. But it seems I was mistaken. Yeah, this is mostly going to be an uneventful minigame. So, I guess I'll catch back up to you once this is done. Unless Hawkins breaks his spine before that point, which is very well possible. And Goldie kind of throwing for content, it looks like. Ah, I should not speak. Throwing for content, I say, as I missed 2 balls at the same time. But we did beat her! Let's go! Now, I doubt anyone's going to recommend her, but if anyone did, I would be very happy and grateful. So yeah, there we go. We now have access to Goldie, and that leaves us... Yeah, we actually can move straight along, that's great. So what's this? We get a chance to improve our morale. I spammed the button and I got nothing. See, mashing does not reward people. I think I'll grab this treasure chest first and then move on to the secret player. So I have to time this on the manual, obviously. Oh, I think that might have been the energy bar. Fuck. But yeah, moving right along, kind of a spitfire of things going on here, but there's another secret player, and it's Sor. Or Torb, I think his Japanese name is? Ah, we need to face him in the eating that makes sense, actually. Luckily, our boy Hawkins does become a chef in the Go arc, so he knows how to eat, probably. And also, I also know how to time this minigame because I've grinded it to unlock the blue bars on people. Unless my inputs will not come through, then stuff like this happens, that's great. I lose track of where I am. But luckily Sor messed up as well. If only you could see how hard I'm mashing on this one.
Flashback.
Mashing does not reward people.
End of flashback.
Didn't reach the 40, which is always kind of my threshold to go to, but, you know, he only finished 14. And yeah, that is our second secret player for this map. Now, this one was kind of a giveaway, because, you know, we are in the prehistoric area here. But yeah, that leaves us with one last thing to do, and that is, hopefully, successfully claim a map. Oh, they're just mocking me by this point. Oh, let's put 5 manuals behind one another. He certainly can't miss this one. Watch me. Living life on the edge, I guess. That is all. That is all the secret content. Almost all of it. There is one golden chest left after beating that team right there. Who are going to be none other than Zanark's domain. Lord Zanark, 5 shields. Presumably at the same power level as Team Zero. I would like to contest that straight off the bat, but that is perhaps better suited as a topic for the next episode. But yeah, we're going to face Zanark next episode, and that is going to be the penultimate team of this map, it looks like. Exciting stuff, but for now, we are going back to the club room. We're going to do the final managerial stuff, and yeah, just the regular order of things, I suppose. There we go. Home sweet home. Or club room, sweet club room, I suppose. So by managerial stuff, I of course meant one more recruitment, and for this one, we are sticking to the Go arc, because we have Zero Joker, who wanted to see Dracon Yale on the team. One of 3 Royal Academy players from the Go arc, I believe, and in my opinion, the coolest one. Can you really blame me? Look at this guy. He has a very cool design. He has a spirit. He has access to a shot, a dribble, and a block move. What is there not to like about this guy? So in short, thank you very much for this recommendation, Zero Joker. I really do appreciate it. I will happily take this guy on the team. And with that, it appears it is up to me to think of a new formation for next time. You will see the fruits of my labor in the next episode, and that'll be that. And I think with that, it is about time we get spinning. I almost forgot last episode, actually. So, having reached this point of the episode, I want to say thank you very much if you came up to this point. As per usual, the request to leave in the comments any characters, kits, or emblems you want to see on this team. Of course, this selection we've got going is still a team effort, so anything you want to see will be incorporated. I do read all the comments before the next episode, and even though I cannot promise that your request will be fulfilled immediately, or that the characters you request will see screen time every episode, I will get to your request eventually, and your characters will shine eventually. So don't be a stranger. Also, my controller just died, so I guess this is the end for Hakuryu here. He has been saved from his spinning state. So I guess it's really time for me to start wrapping up now. Yeah, thank you once again, and I'll see you all in the next episode where we face Xanark's domain. Goodbye!